in our day. Spread a little aloha around the world, 'cause it's breakfast with Bob. Cheers.
And Poncho Man, everybody. Welcome back, Breakfast with Bob, day one from Kona and Huggo's on the Rocks. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by Masters Spas. As fuels go longer, HOKA Let's Fly, deboer wetsuits, Form Smart swim goggles, Zoot Sports, original triathlon brand, Quintana Roo, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. Our next guest from the UK, Ruth Astle, joins us. Ruth, how are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. So nice to be out here.
How long you been here?
4 weeks.
4 weeks. I don't blame you. If you could stay here all the time, what's wrong with that? How fun has it been being here for 4 weeks?
Yeah, it's been really nice actually. I hadn't quite realised how good actually the training is when you're out of Kona itself.
Yeah, well, out by Waikoloa and out that way is pretty sweet.
Yeah, like some of the riding is amazing.
And where have you gone besides the Queen Highway? Have you gone other places?
I've barely been on the Queen K.
Oh, really?
Avoided it as much as possible.
Good move.
I think I'm going to be spending enough time on it next Saturday. So, yeah, like, you know, the middle road up to Harvey,
Yes.
probably my favourite.
And there's no traffic on that.
No traffic, and they've just resurfaced it, so it's like perfect tarmac.
Butter.
It's good.
That is pretty sweet. Now, this year has been an injury-plagued season, to say the least. So, but last year you got 14th here, and your quote on that, it's rubbish.
Yep.
It was not a good race for you.
No, last year I came into this feeling really fit. I'd had a really, really good training block. I was with Kat in Texas, and yeah, training had been really good.
Yes.
I was quite confident because I'd done a good job at St. George, so I definitely came in thinking, yeah, top 5, if I have a good race. And I just had a terrible day from the start. Like, the swim was rubbish. I got dropped from the main group at the turnaround buoy. I had no power on the bike. Like, my average power was 190 watts, which is less than what I did as an age grouper. So, and then I was just, useless on the run. So last year was not my year, which is partly why I then went to Israel to try and finish on a good race. But yeah, this year it's not been as good a training sort of generally throughout the year, getting up to it. Like you said, I've been injured most of the year, so
Mainly calf issues?
Calf issues. So I've had about 8 weeks of running now. So
But feeling good.
feel good. Yeah, feel really good. And I think Kona's probably the one race you can come into a little bit undercooked and be a bit fresher, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. So
Not at all, because a lot of people have raced a ton,
yeah.
and then they're a little toasted by race day. So, but last year, when you win Ironman Israel and you finish your season that way, that's a good way to go into the off season.
Yeah.
And when did the injuries start?
March.
Did you start training too soon or to race too much? What do you think?
I think I tried to maybe ramp up running a bit much. I basically did like a long tempo run, had some tight calves, and tried to do a track session.
Oh.
And that was the beginning. And then I had a physio telling me it was all in my head.
No way.
Yeah, so I kept running, which then made it a kind of progressive, made it much worse. And I then had tendon involvement in the calf issue, so that was when I DNF'd at Ibiza.
Yes.
I then had basically a complete run break after that, because that's when I actually finally got my MRI and had it confirmed what it was, that it wasn't in my head.
What did the physio say after that?
I didn't go back to him.
You have a new physio.
Yeah. So, yeah, then obviously did like a very conservative return to run. That was all going really well. I was 11 weeks into that, and I then pulled my other calf a week before the US Open, which I was meant to go out and do. So yeah, I was then back at kind of square one. Thankfully, that wasn't a very bad calf issue, so I only had like a few weeks off from that, and then I just went with quite an aggressive return to run, because I was like, I knew that I needed a good run block before coming out here.
Right.
And it had to be, because at that point I had 10 weeks to race, so I was like, I need to be quite aggressive, and touch wood seems to have paid off.
That's awesome. And you've been healthy since you've been here?
Yeah, healthy since I've been here.
Wow. Have you found some good places to run here? Running is tough here.
The running is tough here.
A lot of blacktop.
Yeah, we found there's where we are in Waikoloa Village, there's a couple of trails that are mainly okay. A little bit of rocky bits you have to walk over, but then some nice trail bits.
Right.
but I don't mind running too much on the tarmac. I think it's just, you have to mix it up a little bit. And then like I've also got a lever treadmill thing out with me as well,
Yes.
Which I've been using quite a lot to help with getting a bit of load, but not too much.
Well, and the nice about that is you really work on your stride,
Yeah.
right? Which you can't do when you're coming back from an injury unless you use something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So last year when I look at, that was a fair amount of racing that you did, and the Ironman World Championships in St. George, getting fifth there. Besides winning Israel, that's a pretty damn impressive race.
Yeah, that's probably one of my overall best executed Ironmans,
Yes.
I'd say. Like the swim was all right. I wasn't like, swim is never my forte, but it was okay. And then like I actually had a really decent bike, caught quite a few people, and felt I'd say that's probably one of the best runs on that kind of course.
Yes.
And compared to some of the other times of the women racing. So yeah, I think like that for me, it was just generally a really good day, and it's a good day to have a good day.
It's a good day to have a good day at World
so,
Champs, and getting fifth there and 3:06 marathon. But then when you went to Israel, you run 2:57, which is really impressive, and that's a 8:41. That's great stuff. So you won your age group here in 2019, and that led to going pro. The toughest part about going, a lot of times age groupers go pro and they look at their times, they look at the pros' times, and say, oh, I'm right with them. But it's a different racing, right? When you're in that little corral with just the other pros, it could be intimidating.
I think it's much more lonely racing as a pro. I think as a female age grouper in particular, you're generally around men.
Right.
Obviously not here. Like the women have got their own day completely this year. Like no men on the course, so that'll be brilliant. But I think, and especially if you're a weaker swimmer like me, then you are literally by yourself. Like you're not with the group. You've come out. It's basically a solo time trial, which is quite different to being around people. I don't really mind that. I can deal with you're just doing your own kind of race. One day, hopefully, I'll get to the point where I'm coming out in the swim packs and I'm part of the race from the beginning.
Yes. So you got into swimming later?
Yeah, I didn't do enough as a child to be a good swimmer, and it's just been one of those things that I think you're either naturally quite a good swimmer. So there's
Natural
some people
feel.
that seem to take to it, improve really quickly. I've spent the last 4 years trying everything I possibly can, and it's been pretty tough. I think I'm making improvements. I feel like this year, hopefully, I've made a bit of a breakthrough, but it's tough.
The hard part about learning swimming as an adult, or trying to get fast at swimming as an adult, it's just so much time for such. You look at it, oh, that's a minor change. It's really, and then you're going, well, but I could spend more time on a bike and a run, and okay, I know I'm going to be behind, but I'm just going to have to ride faster, and which you do. Your cycling gets better and better, right? Yeah,
but I think this race, I'd say Kona in particular, is the race that you need to come out with the group. The advantage you get with these kind of conditions of being with the group versus by yourself is massive. So it's I think you can get yourself sort of just into the top 10, I reckon, if you're coming
from
back
behind
where I came out last year. But I think if you're trying to get top 5, I think you need to at least be in that main chase pack.
Yeah, right. You have to be with a group. You don't want to be by yourself.
Exactly.
You got to find somebody who you can ride with. Not necessarily Lucy.
No.
But if it's Lisa or if it's somebody else who you can ride with and do some damage, that makes a big difference.
100%.
Yeah. So obviously you raced here as an age grouper, racing here as a pro. What would it mean for you to get on the podium here?
I haven't really thought about positions or podiums.
You're just trying to get healthy.
Honestly, this year has literally been get back to racing, actually get to a point where you can feel fit enough to actually race as opposed to just get through it. I mean, honestly, I think even if I got a top 10 this year, I'd be pretty over the moon of just, I've managed to get somewhere off pretty limited training. I mean, a podium in this current field would be pretty unbelievable, and I think a lot of people would have to crash out or DNF. But it's Ironman, as they say. Anything is possible.
Well,
who knows?
And the first time we've got an all-women's field here. You like that?
Yeah. I'm kind of mixed, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think
I am too.
I really like the women having their own day. And I actually think particularly for age groupers, having the women's race with no male interference is quite important. I don't like the split of the 2 world champs.
It's a community. We want the community together.
Yeah, and I think there are so
I
many
agree.
like tri-clubs, couples, people that like doing it with the men and the women together.
Yes.
That makes it quite hard.
I
But
agree.
I quite like the moving of it around. Like Nice for me is probably a much better course.
That's a climbing course for you. That's a good course for you.
And it's obviously a lot easier and cheaper to get to, which is
And
nice.
to train on.
And
right?
to train on. But there is something quite magical about Kona. I think being out here, there's not many places you can go swimming and you'll just
In an aquarium.
bump into dolphins and turtles. Yeah, so like I completely get the Kona magic. But I'd prefer it if there was a way of having men and women together.
Yes.
But
We'll figure it out
yeah.
down the line. And the cool part is when you've been here for 4 weeks, you're basically a resident. So
Yeah.
you can just stay, right? Just
Yeah, maybe if I remortgage my house and sell a kidney.
Ruth Astle has been our guest, everybody. How about a round of applause for Ruth? Poncho Man, take us out.
Spread a little aloha around the world, 'cause it's breakfast with Bob.
Poncho Man.